Hi guys, it's Matt here, and I have my girlfriend, my beautiful girlfriend Stacey in this video. How are you doing, my darling?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good, good. And in this video, guys, I just thought I'd bring you a laid-back video. This is completely unexpected, really. Usually, when I do a review, I like to be very organized, but with this one, I thought I would just bring a fragrance that is just completely out of the blue. This is a fragrance that isn't mine, but it is in fact Stacey's fragrance, and I'm going to show you guys it, and we're going to talk about it. And basically, this is a fragrance called Love de Toi, and it comes from the clothing brand Morgan de Toi is the name of the company. So this is the fragrance. I believe this would be actually their signature, because it's Love de Toi Morgan for women, so I'm guessing this is their signature scent.
So as a teenager, I really enjoyed this fragrance. I used to buy it from T.G. Hughes a lot, and then all of a sudden it got discontinued, and I was gutted, and I wasn't being able to find it anywhere for years and years and years. Used to go on eBay every now and then and try and find it, but it was always a bit too expensive, and I was like, oh, I'm not prepared to pay that.
Yeah.
And then I stumbled across it, and I got 2 bottles on eBay for £15, but I got the advice of Matt, of course, before I bought it, because I was like, is it legit? Is it not legit?
Yeah.
So yeah, I got the 2 of this size, 2 60ml.
60ml, yeah, that's right.
2 60ml perfumes this size for £15, which was an absolute bargain. And when I sprayed it, it just took us right back to being a teenager again. It's just a lovely, sweet, florally scent, and yeah, just recaptured my youth again for me. It was a nice feeling.
I know, yeah. Isn't it scary to think 2004 was our youth though?
Yeah.
Because it literally sounds like a year that wasn't actually long ago. It's just strange. It's very nostalgic for you.
Yeah, and it lasts a long time as well.
It does last.
I wanted to mention. I smelt my clothes just before there, and bearing in mind I sprayed this at about 9:30 this morning. I can still smell my clothes now. Like, lasts ages. Very, very good.
It is actually a really good scent, guys, to be honest with you. Now, usually, because we were just spending the day I was on for Grantica just looking up fragrances, and Stacey found a fragrance on eBay, of course, like she told you before, that it was a fragrance she used to wear, and of course it got me intrigued, and I wanted to help her get it, and she ended up getting the 2 bottles, which was brilliant. But now that we have the fragrance, I thought it would just be a great idea to do a review for it. So that's exactly what it is we're doing for you guys right now. Bit of information here. I'm going to get all the boring bit out of the way first. So Morgan are pretty much a French brand. They do clothes, very casual clothing. They've got quite a few fragrances on the market. I've never really went into the company, though. I don't really know a lot about them. But they've been going since 1947, so it's been out for a long time. And for this fragrance alone, I had never heard of it. I didn't even know this fragrance even existed. So when you showed me it, I was like, wow, okay. For the price it was on eBay, it was a bit of a no-brainer. You just had to go ahead and get it. So I'm really glad you have it, because since smelling it, I do enjoy it a lot. So shall we review it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's your bottle. I don't know why I'm spraying it, but the bottle's really cool. It kind of has this like see-through color glass here, then it fades to red, and we get this butterfly here with what looks like a pretty cheap sequin in all fairness in the middle there, but God, the smell is so nice. Alright, so I'm just going to tell you guys, this fragrance comes across as smelling like a typical pink fragrance, and what I think of a pink fragrance is something that's overly fruity, something really floral, and something with vanilla in it, and this is that kind of fragrance, although in all fairness there isn't any vanilla in the fragrance, so that's quite interesting. So it makes it a bit different, this one. So the top notes for Love de Toi, we get raspberry, green apple, orange, mandarin orange, as well as orange, and we also get pink pepper. So when I first spray this, what I get is it smells pink. It has this very girly, teenager driven kind of scent. It gets compared to a fragrance by Escada. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a pink bottle, and this is definitely the kind of scent that I would imagine by Escada. But for for the fact that Morgan are a kind of cheaper brand, it's really quite amazing. And I mean, I think this would be a great fragrance for anyone who is well, any ladies out there. I think if you're really into La Vie Belle by Lancome, this is a great substitute. If anything, it's probably a bit lighter, not in terms of it being a least, like not in terms of being a weaker fragrance, but it just has this lighter kind of sort of summery smell to it at the same time. I really like this, babe. I really like it. I'm trying to detect what kind of fruit I really do get.
I do get the raspberry.
You get the raspberry. See, raspberry's a funny note with me in fragrances. Usually, like with a vanilla, I'm able to pick up a vanilla, but when raspberry's in a fragrance, it's difficult. It's usually difficult for me to pick out raspberry. Strawberry, cherry, I usually don't have an issue with, but raspberry's difficult. Like maybe a little bit of the apple.
Yeah, like the crispness.
Yeah.
It's really crispy.
Yeah, it has this like it's green apple, so it does that with Christmas. Yeah, crispness. That's what I was going to say. Maybe a little bit of orange. I mean, it's funny because there's orange and mandarin in there, so you'd think there'd be like double dose of orange, but not really. Not really, in all honesty. And with the pink pepper in there, apparently, so far to me, this just smells like a good attempt. A very good attempt of creating a light version of La Vie Belle. I wish you'd smelled that fragrance, La Vie Belle. This one's older though. La Vie Belle came out, I think, 2010 time. But it's just amazing to think that a fragrance that's like 6 years older prior to that could still smell the same. And just the fact that like with it being not an expensive company is really something. Because this fragrance, can I ask you something? Because this is nostalgic to you, can you see yourself going back and wearing it every day?
If I didn't have any other fragrances, I probably would go back to wearing it every day. But obviously,
You've got a nice little selection.
I've got a nice little selection now that I would probably like mix it up a little bit. No, like I would still wear it, just obviously not every day.
Yeah, so it would still be quite a staple in your collection.
Oh yeah.
No, fair enough. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's funny, because it does come across as having this like young, like, feel free, like just feel free is not the right word. What's the word? Carefree. It has this carefree young smell to it when I smell it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the longer it sits on this, like right now in the dry down, I can imagine a woman in her 40s still wearing this, in all fairness. I mean, it doesn't have the complexity of a rich or deep perfume, say like Poison or Obsession. I mean, I'm only saying them because they're older perfumes. But let's say if we say, all right, let's look at the new Gabrielle by Chanel. That one is, in my opinion, marketed towards the mature crowd, you know what I mean? But this one, I think you could definitely get away with both, in my opinion. It's lovely, really, really nice. And there is another note in this, which I do get really strongly as well, but it's in the middle. And the middle notes that we get in here, we get red apple, as well as the green apple, which is quite interesting. We get rose, gardenia, taya flower, I think that's how you say it, jasmine, and lily of the valley. Now, I get a little bit of rose. The rose in this, though, it isn't like that typical kind of, powder puff that old ladies use, you know what I mean?
That's sweet, isn't it?
It's a sweet rose, this, yeah. It's kind of like it's sweet. It's like a sugary rose, kind of. If that even makes sense. I don't really get jasmine, lily, or taya flower, or gardenia, in all fairness. I don't really get any of the white florals, because usually white florals can be quite prominent. But in this, if anything, it's more to do with the fruits, with a little bit of that rose, I think, at the same time. So it's more, this fragrance to me is more of a kind of, see, that raspberry, it doesn't smell like a raspberry to me. It's more, it kind of smells jammy to me.
Yeah.
Like a jam, like blob.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like a blob like raspberry smell rather than a freshly pulped acidic raspberry, which, you know, has no sweetness to it and just smells tart. This one is just, oh, this is lovely. It's really nice stuff, this. I think a few years ago, if someone had, like, if for example, if, like, we worked together years ago and you showed me this, I probably wouldn't have liked it. I probably would have said this is a typical pink teenage girl's fragrance. Not my cup of tea. But now that I'm kind of really starting to understand perfumes and the directions and the marketing campaigns and the different types of fragrances that there are out there for different aged people, I can really respect, I think, every blend that's out there really now. And the best thing about this fragrance is the dry down, in all fairness. The dry down for this is really nice. Now, in the dry down, we get a note that here on the Fragrance Mat channel, it's not often that I mention this note. And we get the note of cherry. We get musk and sandalwood. Now, the cherry in this, I have to say it, guys, it doesn't smell like the actual fruit cherry, in my opinion. What do you think?
No, I get what you mean.
It's like a cherry blossom, isn't it?
Yeah.
If anything, it's like a powdery kind of. There's a bit of that musk in the dry down. It fades, and what you're left with really is just the ghost of the opening, if anything, and the fragrance itself just turns into this mellow kind of musk, cherry blossom with a little bit of hint of rose in there kind of scent. That's really all this is. But I'm just really happy that you were able to find this again, because I mean it's a great feeling for me. I know how it feels when you find a fragrance that you've wanted or may not have wanted in your collection, but it feels good to have it again in your collection. It's a nice feeling, and it's like, you know, photographs are really the only things that we can think of to go back in time, but perfumes are powerful, guys, and you know, they're time capsules. The butterfly, nice little feature on the front of the bottle there, but the sequin, which is nicely glued in there, I like that. It's really classy. Now to the neck. But yeah, it's great stuff, guys. I just thought I would review this because it's not a scent that I would usually bring. Even though I've said it's like a typical pink teenage girl fragrance, there's a lot more going on in here. I think, to make it quite exceptional, in my opinion. So I think, if anything, it would make a great scent for teenage girls, but I do also think it would be great for a female in general. It's a nice, modern perfume, and I kind of complain. I don't know why I should complain, it's not my favorite. That was close. Got it! Wow. But anyway, that has been the review. Yeah. So if you had to give one more thing about it, what would you say? If you were trying to, I don't know, let's say if you were the seller for this, what would you say?
Oh God, that's a hard one, actually.
I'll tell you what I'd say. Hello there, would you like to try the new Morgan de Tois perfume today? This is a beautiful blend. It is a blend of some lovely apple, some raspberry in the top, and then you're greeted with a lovely lovely red apple. There's a tiny bit of red apple, I'm going to be honest with you, I noticed it before. With this rose, and then dried down with a lovely cherry note, apparently, which is more like a cherry blossom, and a beautiful musk.
I'm not as good as you at pitching that type of thing, so...
No, but I think you're good on camera. I think people enjoy listening to you, and I just really appreciate you being on. So, thank you always, my darling. I love you.
I love you.
And thank you so much, guys, for watching this review on Morgan de Tois. Oh, Love de Tois? By Morgan de Tois. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Really means a lot. It is bye from me, and it's bye from my beautiful girlfriend, Stacey.
Bye.
Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Keep smelling good. Bye for now.